this has been my view for the last couple days. I pulled out my box of drip irrigation. I've been laying out all the pieces for it. I even drew a makeup of my log raised beds on one page, and then on another page I drew the garden, or actually how I was trying to measure how many feet from the spigot all the way to get to the back of my log raised beds, because at the moment I only have enough drip to drip line my 7 log raised beds, and those beds are the ones furthest from the beginning of the garden, which means for the last 2 years that part of the garden has always been the hardest to water, which is why I want to put it on drip, so that way, because we've been dragging hose for the last 2 years, so that way it will be closer to or the rest of the garden will be closer for me to water. Eventually I do want to put my whole garden on drip, but at the moment I'm going to start with the log raised beds. This year my log raised beds are going to be dedicated to cut flowers, and so in my last video you guys saw me starting some cool weather cut flowers, but I also have some more seeds that I need to go out and start some seeds for. I've already started my vegetable plants up until February 6th. I'm gonna look at my garden layout and notes. So yes, February 6th is going to be when I start my tomatoes, marigolds, zinnias, basils, all of that good stuff for like actual seed starting time. That will be 8 weeks from April 2nd, which is when I'm estimating my last frost date according to the USDA and the Farmer's Almanac. They put my last estimated date as March 27th, which will technically make that 7 weeks before. But I'm gonna stick with what I know and go with April 2nd. I am just looking at all of my peppers that have started. I need to start fertilizing them, because there are some, let me show you. So there's some plants that have like purplish leaves because they're purple variety, like this one. But then there's some, well, this one's early jalapeno, but then there's some, I need to turn this around actually, hold on. Okay, so there's some like this cayenne purple that has like the purple leaves and it has the purple leaves and the purple stem, but then there's some that is just leaves are turning purple and it's not necessarily a purple variety. And I think I need, well, there's a little water in here, but some of these have some, I haven't been in here. I'm gonna need to separate them, and I've been not wanting to because I've still been in the seed starting. I'm not ready to up pot, so I'm gonna actually just give these plants some, like this is a purple variety. I'm probably just gonna give them a drink of some fish fertilizer so that I can keep them in here a little longer before I have to separate them. They had started to sprout in here. So I'm gonna actually have to water this tray and get it another light. So I have 2 lights set up in here. I'm gonna have to get another light so that all of those get some light on it. But then we have my daughter watered these and she turned them all around. So these are some ground cherries, sunberries, yay, some eggplants, and some oregano. I'm gonna have to do a lot of rearranging. I wasn't expecting that, and so that wasn't on my list to do, because I was just trying to show you guys the update on the peppers and then realized other things was planted. But what I need to do is gather, what is on my list is to gather the rest of the seeds that I need to plant. I need to go to the garden and count how many, what is it called? How many T-posts I need. So let me gather all the seeds and then we'll be back together. All the seedlings out here are doing really good. And then these are the last 2 trays. I need to water them of the cut flowers that I started. While Anaya and Nehemiah are, oh, it's really windy and cold. Woo! While they are filling my trays, I separated my seeds, so I know I need those 3 trays to be filled. I want to come out here and count how many T-posts I need. We took down all of the hoop trellises that was on this side because we're going to be making this where my tomatoes are going to be. Ooh, my onions actually. I'm glad I came over here. They're all standing up really well and they look really great, but don't let me get distracted. So I still have all of my cattle panels, but so I don't think I need any more cattle panels, but I definitely need more T-posts. So I'm just going to be going around to each bed and counting how many T-posts I need. So this is where my green bean trellis was at the last 2 years. I had 2 of them actually, but we needed the T-posts for another job, so we took that out. So I know I'm going to need 2, 4 T-posts, 6, 8, 10, and then with these, so that's 10, and then with these beds, the cattle panels are going to be going straight across for tomatoes, and each one was going to need 3, so that's 13, 16, 19, 22, 25, 28. So I'm going to need 28 T-posts, and these are the 6-foot T-posts, and I only have, we'll count how many we have, and then that's basically, and then subtract and see how many we need. So I see 2, that's 4, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like I only see 10 T-posts out here. And I said I needed 28, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to run to Tractor Supply and basically get 26-foot T-posts because I'm making a list and checking it twice now. I'm making a list for my son. I'm basically hiring him to do all of this work for me so that I don't have to take time. Let me run inside the hoop house. I had to run inside the hoop house. It was getting really, really windy. And I have on the slide, so not the wind was messing with my toes and this thin shirt. So I'm gonna pick up 20 T-posts from Tractor Supply, and I'm basically making a list for him, and he's gonna be the one adding in all of my hoops and putting all the T-posts, and basically hiring him for his services to get all the things, like making a list and getting all the things that I need done. And basically between now and planting time in April, so he has about 2 months to gradually, you know, in between school and baseball practice, get the things that I make a list done for me. Actually, while I was out there, I didn't count if I had enough cattle panels. I know I need 20 T-posts. I'm kind of nervous because it was really, really cold out there. I think I'm gonna go inside, actually put on some actual weather appropriate clothes. This weather is bipolar because it's a very cloudy day. It's in the 50s, I think, but the last few days had been in the 70s, and let's see, what degrees is it saying? Yeah, it's 53 and cloudy, and the last few days had been in the 70s and the high 60s with the sun, and so much cooler day, and I didn't dress appropriately. I would check the weather before I came out. So I'm gonna go inside, put on some socks, put on some sneakers, much warmer clothes, run to Tractor Supply, and then hopefully come back and be able to plant those flowers, and I will be done planting until we got water in all of the seed trays, and then be able to, I'm trying to think, not plant till February 6th, which is going to be the really fun stuff. I actually just ran to count before I went to Tractor Supply, and I actually have the perfect number of cattle panels, which I thought I did. I thought I had already counted cattle panels to make sure, because I'm still using the same amount of cattle panels I did last year. I'm just moving them to new locations. Off camera, I labeled all of my seed trays, and I'm gonna start planting. I did show a brief of what I was gonna be planting. So these are still cool weather flowers. So there's Status, Pincushion, Feverfew, Larkspur, Calendula, Cosmos, Bachelor Buttons, Yarrow, Poppies, Pincushion, Verbena, Baby's Breath, what else? Carnations. All of these are cool weather flowers, which means that I can start them now. And like Bachelor Buttons, I have Bachelor Buttons growing inside my garden right now, and I planted them in like November, and they didn't die even when it got down to like 15 degrees. So they are super hardy. So I can plant these, like these will be the first flowers that I plant inside my garden, and they will be fine. I'm starting off with planting Bachelor Buttons, and I'm putting these are red Bachelor Buttons, because I did already plant different color Bachelor Buttons, but I didn't have these seeds with me. I let a friend borrow some of my seeds, and this red Bachelor Button just looked really pretty. Where is it? Oh, it's in my hand. And so I want to plant it. So this will be a later than the other Bachelor Buttons that I had already started, but it will be fine. After I get these last 3 seed trays planted, I will officially have all of my cool weather flowers planted, and then I'll start on next week. I will be able to start on my basils, my dahlias, my zinnias. What else is the summer? Sunflowers. All of the summer and like late summer, late spring, or early summer, late spring flowers. You guys let me know. Are you guys already planning out your spring garden? Are you making a list and sticking to it? Having my list made this year has made gardening so much easier, so that way when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can look back and see, look back and see what I have left to plant. So I just tried to put 2 seeds in each one of these holes, and I don't have enough seeds. I ran out. So some of them are gonna only have 1 seed, and that's fine. But okay. And some of these seeds, like calendula, I have in my garden inside of the log raised beds, but I needed to cover them in order to kill back the weeds. It's so windy outside, so I just flung open my hoop house door. But anyway, some of these seeds, whoops, like I was saying, I have already inside of the garden, but they're covered by the plastic, and that was to kill back any weeds that I have inside those beds. But I'm hoping that when I remove them, when I remove the plastic, that calendula, and I know I have echinacea in there and some other things, will still be, you know, alive and ready to come back, which I think they will, because when I just peeked when the wind blew off the plastic, I did see stuff trying to grow back. These are the weirdest looking seeds. These what is this, calendula seeds are so weird looking. They look like baby what are those called, what are those things called? Horsefish or something? Or little shrimp. When I was thinking this morning, last year I had made a garden list or plan, and I stuck to it to a certain point, and then I went on my missionary trip, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't do beforehand, like with trellises, because I kept pushing it back thinking, oh, I have more time, I have more time. And then some of the trellises, like on my cherry tomatoes, I never got up through the whole season, and so they literally just grew across the ground, which is completely fine. Like, they did grow, there was nothing wrong with them, as far as they were in the ground, they were able to produce, and they did produce me lots of cherry tomatoes. But that wasn't ideal, especially with living in coastal South Carolina. It's super humid out here, and that wasn't the plan. I wanted them to grow up. So this year I'm trying to do everything that I know I need to do between now and April with my hoops, and like putting down that fabric, making sure I have all my seeds planted, like anything I can think of. I'm trying to do now-ish. I did not know it was going to be so windy today. Yeah, I'm trying to do now-ish, between now and April. So I'm just making a list, like I said earlier. And some of the stuff my son's going to be doing, some of the stuff is like on me, like planting, making sure I'm planting seeds and keeping up with the weeks, which so far I've been able to do. So I just need to keep at it, even when I get a little busier later on in February and so on. Oops. So I'm definitely interested, you guys. Let me know if you guys have started making your garden plan, if you have a list of stuff that you need to get done before springtime. The sun has came out, so it immediately warmed up in here, which is nice. Okay. I'm gonna finish planting. Oh wow. So I'm gonna finish planting. I did a whole row of these, but I don't have enough of seeds. I only have 3 seeds, so I'm just gonna put them all in one and do more of a different This seed pack is empty, so that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna figure this out off camera, and I'll have to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.